Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture number 35 of this NPTEL lecture series on charging infrastructure. In previous lecture we have seen about the concept of soft switching, and we have also seen the switching losses, and before that we have seen the isolated, we have gone through or revisited some of the isolated DC-DC converter. Now we will, in this lecture we will study in detail about different modulation strategies for PWM full bridge converters. Obviously full bridge isolated DC-DC converter here I am talking about. So if we talk about the last lecture, we have understood that when we have the half bridge, which is nothing but the fundamental building block of any voltage source converter. So there we saw that depending upon the direction of the current coming out of the half bridge, one of the switches will go through the soft switching. In this case, is the current is coming out of this half bridge, because of the current direction when the S1 is off, and there will be some dead time before which the S2 will turn on. During that time, the first the current I0 will be flowing through the C1 and C2 in such a manner that the C1 charges from 0 to Vin, and C2 discharges from Vin to 0, and then the D2 will be on, and once the D2 will be on, the current will be flowing through this diode D2, and then since the current is flowing through diode D2, the voltage across the device will be 0, and then when you turn on the device, it will be, you will see the 0 voltage switching of this 0 voltage switching turn on of this device S2, as a result of which what you will see is that you have the switching loss on the S2 switch is nearly 0 during turn on period. And because since during the dead time it's the DVDT, that means the voltage at between A and N point is actually limited depending upon the C1 and C2 and I0 current. So we can also have the less EMI, what you can say, electromagnetic interference to nearby system. And then we have also seen that, this particular circuit, we can say that we can also have, instead of RL and C, we could have also have the voltage source on this side, and here on this side we could have resistance and capacitance. In this scenario, we know that the output of half bridge always be connected to the inductor L, and the current through inductor cannot stop abruptly, so it will find a path. That's why it has to connect at the pole of this, this half bridge. So because of that, the necessary condition in order to ensure this C1 charges from 0 to Vn and C2 discharges from Vn to 0 is nothing but Li naught square must be greater than, that means the energy which is contained in this must be greater than the C1 Vin square plus C2 Vin square, where C1 and C2 are the device output capacitances. These are the necessary condition. However, once this condition is met, that means there is a possibility of soft switching of during turn on of this S2 switch. However, now the required condition, that means the condition which must be there, is nothing but you have to provide the sufficient dead time. That means you have to provide sufficient time before sending the gate pulse to S2 switch, such that the voltage of this C2 goes to 0 from a Vin voltage, and simultaneously the voltage of VC1 goes from 0 to Vin voltage. That means the desired condition to obtain the 0 switching loss, we must ensure that sufficient dead time is provided between the turn off of the gate pulse S1 and turn on of the gate pulse of S2 switch. So this we have also studied in the last class. Then we have seen that whenever the S1 is turning on, the S1 is turning on with the fixed voltage across it. There is no way by which the capacitor get discharged from Vin voltage to 0. So the channel is formed, and this Vin voltage which was there will actually be discharged through this channel. So since the Vin will be directly imposed upon the switch whenever the channel is formed, that means, or you can say whenever the gate pulse for S1 is given. So during that time what you have is you are having a finite losses, turn on losses of S1 switch, and you will also see that there is a dV of this voltage Vn, where the dVdt at terminal A is not in under control. It is depend upon how fast you are turning on S1, that means that the rate of excitation of gate to source voltages, it depends upon that. So that's why this particular the S1 switch here turns on with the finite losses as well as good amount of dVdt between point A and N. So that's why you will see that this switch receives or achieves the hard switching. However, the S2 switch achieves the short switching during turn on. So these are the things we have studied in detail in the last session. Now let us see how this particular concept we will be using to understand the operation of full bridge converter. But before starting that, let us recap, or let us understand what we have studied about full bridge converter. In full bridge converter, we know that we have 4 switches which are actually exciting the primary winding of the transformer. Secondary side, we have 2 diodes, and which is feeding to L and C, and V naught output will be there. And we know that in this particular scenario we have V naught to be nothing but N, which is nothing but N is nothing but Ns by Np. So we know that V naught is nothing but N V in duty ratio D, where duty ratio D is the fraction of the time of half the switching cycle. So this is actually half the switching cycle, Ts by 2, and this is another Ts by 2 period. During this Ts by 2 period, for some portion of the Ts by 2 period, the S1 and S2 is on, and then during which we have seen that how the flux rises, and then how the dr1 it's conducting during this time. And whenever the S1 and S4 is off, the current of the inductor IL, the current through the inductor IL is such that it ensures both the diodes turned on. Since both the diode turns on, what happens is that the current through this inductor L is actually going through this IDR1 and IDR2. It is going through these 2 devices, and that is when we see that voltage across this primary winding becomes 0, and different operation of this converter we have seen. However, if you look very carefully here, we have not discussed any parasitics of the devices which are present, and also parasitics of these transformer, because every transformer you have good amount of this inductance, which is good amount of leakage inductance which comes in series on either side, on the primary side, on the secondary side. And this leakage is because of the, when you excite this winding, some of the flux gets linked with itself, and corresponding to that there is a inductance which is called as a leakage inductance. So the flux which does not get coupled to the secondary side winding are the fluxes which links with the coil itself, and inductor corresponding to that fluxes are called as a leakage fluxes, because that's got leaked out, it does not gets coupled you through the core to the other winding. Now, so these are what, this is some of the L leakage of this winding we have. We also have every MOSFET you take, or even if you take the IGBT across the drain to source, what we have is we have the capacitor C1, let's say we have the output capacitor, let's say output capacitor C1, C3, C2, C4, and these are D1, D3, D2 and D4. These are since we have considered this as MOSFET, we are considering this D1, D2, D3, D4 are the body diode of the MOSFET. So now we know that we can control our output voltage by just controlling the duty ratio of S1 and S4 switches. Along with, we can also adjust the turning on or turning off instances of switches S1 and S2 in first leg and S3 and S4 in second leg. And this will have some advantages, like we will achieve a soft switching of this converter, and accordingly we can ensure our operations. So let us see how we will obtain the different, what are the different possibilities of modulation strategies. Now if you look very carefully in this circuit, this is nothing but our dTs by 2 period, and this is nothing but our 1 minus dTs by 2 period. And we know that during this time my S1 and S4 is on, and then after this S1 and S4 turns off, it is the current which was there, in order to ensure the output current, output inductor current remains there, the current will get divided into 2 diodes, and both the diodes DR1 and DR2 conducts. So since here both the diodes are conducting, the voltage across this winding is 0, across entire winding is 0. That's when the voltage across these points, the points is 0. However, there is L leakage inductor which are present. So now what happens is that, since in 1 minus dTs by 2 period S1 and S4 turns off, and S2 and S3 was already off, and then only after Ts by 2 period the S2 and S3 is turning on. So during that time what happens is that the voltage across AB will be, when your S1 and S4 is on, it is V in, and when S2 and S3 is on is your minus V in, because when these two are on, the positive terminal of DC link is actually connected to B point, and when S2 is on, the negative terminal of DC link is connected to A point. So we have minus V in voltage appear across the VAB. However, there are some possibilities we have. So for the possibilities, what we do is we will define the two bridges, two half bridges which we have, as one bridge we define it as a leading leg and another bridge we will define it as a lagging leg. Now I will tell you why we are telling this leading leg and lagging leg. Now in this, what we are doing is, the leading leg, what we can do is we can change the turn on time of these leading leg switches, which are S1 and S2, by certain duration. Now let us say if we increase this one, let us say S2 goes to this point, to this particular point, and let us say my S1 also goes to the same point, this particular point. Now if my S2 switch is on, during this period my S3 is off, my S4 is off, I am just increases the T on period of this S2 switch in the forward direction. So what we are doing here is that we are actually in the forward direction, we are increasing the turn on time in the forward direction, in this direction. As a result of which, what happens, since already my S1 is off, my S4 is off and my S3 is still off. So what happens is that even if I turn on my S2 also, my voltage across VAB will still be 0, because what is happening, this is off, this is off, this is off, and we are just turning on this S2 switch. So even though if we turn on the S2 switch also, it does not make much difference at the VAB voltage. So VAB voltage will still be 0. Similarly, if we increase the turn on period of my just S1 switch in the forward direction, that means in this direction. So since during this portion of time only S1 is on, all rest of the switches are off, so there is no impact you will see on the VAB, VAB will still be 0. At the same time, if in the lagging leg, if we are in the backward direction, lagging means we are in the backward direction, we are increasing the turn on period of both S3 and S4 switch in the backward direction. So during that period also, that means during this period also, all the 3 switches are off, only for S4 switches. We are delaying its turn off for certain period. Similarly, during this period, we are actually delaying our S3 switch turning on in the backward direction. So still the other 3 switches are still off. That's when we will see that there is no impact we will get it on the VAB voltage. So what we are doing in the leading leg, we are just increasing the turn on period of this leading leg switches in the forward direction by some small amount without changing anything on the leading edge of your lagging leg switches. So when we are increasing during this portion, the other 3 switch states are still the same. So there is no impact we are getting on the VAB. Similarly, in the lagging leg, we are actually increasing the turn on period of the lagging leg switches by delaying or by increasing the falling edge in the backward direction by some amount, and during this time the VAB voltage will still be 0. So during this time the voltage is still be 0, during this time it is still 0, during this time it is still 0, during this time it is still 0. Since we are not impacting anything on the VAB voltages, we get the output voltage to be N times V in times D. We are also not changing anything on the output voltage, because the volt second of inductance L will still be the same, as we are not changing VAB voltage, and the voltage which is appearing across VAB will only be rectified after this diode DR1 and DR2, and still during DTS by 2 period I am applying voltage across inductor as N V in minus V naught, and during 1 minus DTS by 2 period the VL voltage will still be just minus V naught. So because even if we are changing just turn on instances of one of the switches, we are not actually impacting any change in the VAB voltages which is applied at the primary winding of this full bridge transformer. So in this kind of modulation strategies or methods, we are not changing the output voltage as our VAB is same. However, we are just adjusting the turn on or turning off instances of leading leg and lagging leg switches, which will help us in achieving short switching of the switches in the full bridges. So based upon that, we can say there are certain possibilities. First possibility is obviously in the leading leg, which is this is the leading leg, The leg comprises of switch S1 and S2. In the leading leg, what we are doing is we are actually increasing the turn on period of this S1 and S2 switch by actually changing this switching instance in the forward direction. When rising edge, we are increasing in the forward direction, or we are adjusting in the forward direction. So let us see how the in the leading leg what takes place. So there are three possibilities. One possibility, you are not doing any change. Obviously the on time is still be DTS by 2 period for for S1 and S2 switches. You are not changing the leading leg. Again, when we are discussing about the leading leg, we are not touching anything on the lagging leg. We are not doing any change on the lagging leg, which comprises of S3 and S4 switch. Now the second possibility could be your turn on period of this S1 and S2, you are adjusted forward, you are adjusting in the forward direction. However, you are doing the adjusting, you are changing the you are changing the turn on period of S1 and S2 switch, but still that on time is less than TS by 2. If we say this is DTS by 2, this is 1 minus DTS by 2 period. So this period from here to here is TS by 2. So we are not changing, we are not going from this point to this point, because even if we go from this point to this point also, there is the VAB will still be the same, but you are not doing that. You are just adjusting the turn on period in the forward direction, but that for on time is still less than TS by 2 period. And the third scenario, when you have adjusted this thing in such a manner that the turn on period of this S1 and S2 switch in the leading leg goes to TS by 2. So there are three possibility. One, you are not changing the turn on time. In the second, you are changing the turn on time. You are adjusting the turn on time by adjusting in the forward direction, but still the on time are still less than TS by 2 period. So instead here what you are doing, you are TS by 2 period plus delta T you are doing. However, delta T is less than 1 minus d TS by 2 period, you can say. So this you can say from here to here is delta T, that delta T which you are adding up here. Similarly, in the third point, you are increasing this thing such that dTs by 2 plus delta T you are doing, and such that this delta T is nothing but 1 minus dTs by 2. That's when you can make the turn on period of S1 and S2 switch to be equal to Ts by 2. So it is this third scenario. Similarly, in the lagging lag case, so here we can say this is the leading lag, this is the lagging lag. In this case again, the lagging lag switches which are S3 and S4, you are not changing, that makes the first possibility. You are keeping the turn on time remains same. The second thing, you are changing, you are adjusting this time, falling edge, or you can say the turn on time of S3 and S4 in the backward direction, in this direction, and such that the turn on time is still less than TS by 2. That means what you are doing is you are adding a delta T time. However, delta T is less than 1 minus d TS by 2. And in the third point, what you have is we have dTs by 2, we are adjusting the turn on time, and such that delta T is equals to 1 minus dTs by 2, and that's when you are turning on for the entire TS by 2, nearly TS by 2 period, you are turning on your SN switch. Why we are saying this one? So let's say if we are increase this to this place point, so the entire TS by 2 duration, because this is dTs by 2, this is 1 minus dTs by 2, for the entire TS by 2 duration we are turning on S3 and S4 switches. So here in the lagging lag case we are defining the three possibilities as A, B, C. In the leading lag case we are defining the three possibilities as 1, 2, 3. In both the cases my V naught is still N V in times D, because if you see, even if you are adjusting here during the adjusting period, during this period delta T period, I am still applying the VAB to still be the same, which is 0 from at this point, which is actually imposed upon the primary winding of your isolated transformer. So still what we have is we are not actually changing the VAB voltage. So that's when we are not actually changing the output voltage, where still the output voltage we are keeping it intact. Even though we are adjusting the turn on time of lagging lag switches and leading lag switches, but still the voltage which will be appearing at the A and B will still be the same. If these voltage are same, then the voltage applied across, I mean at the inductor L will still be the same, and we are doing the volt second balance of this inductor to find the relationship between the input voltage and the output voltage. So thus our output voltage, the output voltage will still be the same. So now because of these three possibilities from the lagging lag and three possibilities from the leading lag, there are several modulation methods which are possible. In the first modulation method, what we are doing is we are not changing anything. So we are using 1A. So 1 corresponds to whenever there is no change in the leading lag, S1 and S2 turn on time. This is our leading lag, this is our lagging lag. For lagging lag there is no change in the turn period. So that's when you will see that there are no change in the turn on period and VAB will still be the same. And here we see that the diagonal switches which are S1 and S4, they are switched off at the same time. Similarly for S2 and S3 switches, they are switched off at the same time. So this is another important thing which actually defines different kinds of modulation. We will see that how it impacts, and these are 1A possibilities, 1A possibility or method number 1, which has the possibilities 1 and A, 1 from the leading lag side and A from the lagging lag side. Now in the second modulation method, what we are doing is we are adjusting the turn on period of leading lag, and we are adjusting the turn on period of the leading lag, which is defined in the the second number possibility in the leading lag side, but we are not changing anything on the lagging lag. So what we are doing, we are actually increasing the turn on period of this only the leading lag by adjusting the turn on time in the forward direction. However, the turn on time is still less than Ts by 2 period. So it's still less than Ts by 2. That means if we say this is Ts by 2, this is Ts by 2, and this is again your dTs by 2, and this is your 1 minus dTs by 2. So here we are increasing by delta t, this delta t, and this delta t is less than 1 minus dTs by 2. That's when we are adjusting the turn on period. So we can say the turn on period of S1 is nothing but becomes dTs by 2 plus delta t of S1 and S2 switch, sorry, both the switches, S1 and S2 switches. The period during which the turn on period is adjusted, if we check in this portion, although I have adjusted my S2 switch turn on time, but my S1, S3 and S4 switch are still off during this time. So still I am applying 0 voltage from the VAB. Since I am applying 0 voltage from the VAB, my output voltage is still V0 to be nothing but equal to N times V times D, duty ratio D. So this is the thing, we got the second modulation method, and in this method if you look very carefully, the diagonal switches which are S1 and S4 switches and S2 and S3 switches, diagonal switches are turning off at the same time. Then the third possibility, you can adjust the turn on period of S1 and S2 switch in the leading lag such that you adjust it up to the Ts by 2 period. So if you take this is entire period is Ts by 2, you adjust it such that this will now turn on for the entire Ts by 2 period. In the entire period you are turning it out. Here you have kept delta T is nothing but 1 minus dTs by 2, that you are keeping T. That's when your T on of S1 and S2 is nothing but dTs by 2 plus 1 minus dTs by 2 is nothing but Ts by 2 period. And if you look very carefully during the adjustment period, delta T adjustment period, the turn on adjustment, during this period your VAB voltage is still not changing. That's when your V0 is nothing but NV in times D, because you are not changing the output, the voltage at VAB, which is actually get imposed after this rectifier onto the inductor L for dTs by 2 period, and during 1 minus dTs by 2 period it's the V0 which will be freewheeling through the DR1 and DR2. And the possibilities what we have, if we number the possibilities, so it is 3 from the leading leg and it is A from the lagging leg, because still we are not changing anything on the lagging switches S3 and S4. The lagging switches, the switches in the lagging leg, the turn on period is still not changed. So in this, if you look very carefully, the turn on period of S3 and S4 is still not changed, we are not touching it. That's when we have A possibility from the lagging leg. So this is my lagging leg, and we know that this is our leading leg. And if you look very carefully, during the turn off, the diagonal switches are turning off, S1 and S4, and you can say S3, S2 and S3, they are switching off at the same time, or they are turning off at the same time. Then comes the fourth possibility. In the fourth possibility, what we are doing is, we are now keeping the leading leg, which is S1 and S2 switch. We are not touching anything from the leading leg. However, we are actually increasing the lagging leg time by adjusting the turn on of S3 and S4 switches in the backward direction, by delta t, and this delta t is actually less than 1 minus d Ts by 2. Now because of that, what happens is that my turn on period of S3 and S4 is now actually my d Ts by 2 plus delta t, and which is less than Ts by 2, because this is entire Ts by 2, this is from here to here dTs by 2, from here to here 1 minus dTs by 2 period. Now if you look very carefully, during the delta t period, during this period, all the other switches are still off, so that means the VAB voltage is still be 0, and that means the voltage applied on the primary winding does not change. That's when my V0 is still be N V in times D, which we obtain by doing the volt second balance on the output inductor L. So that's when my V in is some 0, so during that time they are actually freewheeling across this point. That's when applying during 1 minus dTs by 2 period, we will apply 1 minus dTs by 2 period, we will apply VL to be equal to minus V0, and in dTs by 2 period we apply VL to be NV in minus V0, which actually give us, and when we do the volt second, which we have done in 2-3 lectures back, we will get V0 to be nothing but equal to NV in times T. And the possibilities, if we talk about the possibility numbers, so it is first from the leading leg side, and we are now started adjusting the lagging leg time. And here if you look very carefully, the turn off instances of diagonal switches, so if you look, the turn off instances of S1 and S4 is now not at the same time, they are at a different time. So you can say the turn off instance of S1 and S4 and S2 and S3 are not at the same time. So these diagonal switches, you can say S1 and S4 or S2 and S3, they are not turning off at the same time. Then comes the modulation method 5. In this modulation method 5, what we are doing is, we are now adjusting both the leading leg as well as lagging leg. So this is our leading leg, comprises of switches S1 and S2, and we have the lagging leg, comprises of switches S3 and S4. In both the legs we are adjusting the turn on time, and the turn on time is adjusted in such a manner that the turn on period of the lagging leg and leading leg switches is still not equal to Ts by 2. So this is the delta T, we are doing changes. In the leading leg we are adjusting the turn on period in the forward direction. In the lagging leg we are delaying the turn off instances by in the backward direction, so by delta T period, and with this delta T is always less than 1 minus dTs by 2 period. That's when we can say that my turn on periods of both S1, S2, S3, S4 is actually nothing but dTs by 2 plus delta T, and it is still less than Ts by 2. Here from here to here it is Ts by 2, so it is still less than Ts by 2 period. And during this adjustment period delta T, what we see is that the VAB voltage is still the same, because the other 3 switches operation are not same, only one switch we are changing at one time. So that's when the VAB will still be the same. Since the VAB will still be the same, the output voltage is still be same, we are not impacting anything. However, we will see in subsequent lecture this methods will help you out to achieve the short switching of the switches, which will impact the switching losses and the losses of the entire converter. And that is when these methods are being used to achieve the very high efficiencies in this particular converter, because generally we are switching this converter at a very high switching frequencies such that the size of this inductor and passives are smaller. So here the possibilities what we have is the second possibility from the leading leg side and B possibility from the lagging leg side. And here if you look very carefully, the diagonal switches which are S1 and S4, or you can say S2 and S3, they are actually switches at a different instances. They are turning off at a different instances. Then in the modulation method 6, what we are doing is, we have in the leading leg side which comprises of S1 and S2 switch, we have adjusted the T on period by the time 1 minus 1 minus dts period, which is nothing but, here it is 1 minus dts by 2 period, and which will actually gives you T on of S1 and S2 to be Ts by 2. However, T on of S3 and S4 is still dTs by 2 plus delta T, which is, this is delta T, which is, and this delta T is actually less than 1 minus dTs by 2 period. So in this period, the adjustment period during which we are adjusting the turn on period of lagging and leading leg, at this point, if we look at this point, during this point what happens is that, during this point what happens is that my S1 is off, my S3 is off, these two are off, and you are now turning on S2 and S4, both the S2 and S4 is on. Since both are on, so in the circuit this is on, this is on, so in this circuit the VAB voltage is still be 0, which is what so that means we are still VAB, we are not changing. Similarly, during this instance what happens is that the S1 is on, during this instance the S1 is on, and at this point my S3 is on. So during this time again, in this entire circuit, the VAB voltage is still 0. So during this time still the VAB voltage is 0, and remaining period, the time during which the S4 turns, during this period, if you talk about during this period, since all the three switches are having the same state, with just changing the timing for one of the switch, it will not impact anything on the VAB, and that's when we can say V naught is still be NV in times D. So this particular method is comprises of possibility number 3 from the leading leg side and possibility number B from the lagging leg side. And here if you look very carefully, these turn off period of the diagonal switches are actually not at the same time, they are at different time. This is the modulation number 6. Similarly, the modulation number 7, in modulation number 7, which actually is nothing but 1C, where we are not changing anything on the leading leg, but on the lagging leg, which is comprises of S3 and S4, what we are doing is we are changing the turn on time by 2 period, by this much period, and that's when my the turn on period of S3 and S4 goes to Ts by 2. However, during this time the VAB voltage will still be unchanged, so our V naught is still be NV in times D, and we are doing the same operation. Now in this one, if you look very carefully, the diagonal switches S1 and S4 and S2 and S3 are actually turn off at a different times. Similarly, there is another possibilities, which is we are adjusting in the the lagging leg side, which comprises of SC and S4, we have increased the turn on period to Ts by 2 Ts by 2. We can say T on of S3 and S4 is actually Ts by 2. However, we are adjusting the turn on period of leading leg by delaying or by adjusting in the forward direction of the rising edge of this turning on period. So that's when we will get T on S1 S2 is nothing but dTs by 2 plus delta t, where delta t is less than 1 minus dTs by 2. Now because of that, if we look very carefully, this we have extended here, we have extended here. During this time, during, let us say, during the delta t time, when both the S2 and S4 is on, the voltage across VAB will still be 0 at this point. Similarly, during this period of time, what we have is our S1 and S3 is on, so VAB will still be 0 here. However, in other times, during this period of time from here to here, during this time period of time, what we are seeing is that only one of the switches turn on time is changed, however other switches turn on time is not changed. So that is why the VAB will still be 0. So we can say that the V0 is unchanged, which is nothing but N times VD. The possibility is possibility number 2 from the leading leg and possibility number C from the lagging leg side. And here again, if we see the turn off instances in diagonal switches S1 and S4, they are at different time, S2 and S3 they are at different times. Similarly, if we see the modulation method 9, we are having the 3C, where what we are doing is we are delaying our lagging leg by 1 minus dTs by 2 period. However, we are also adjusting our turn on period of S1 and S2 switch by 1 minus dTs by 2 period. So by adjusting such a manner that for the entire Ts by 2 period, both the devices are on. So we can say that the turn on of all S1, S2, S3, S4 is actually nothing but Ts by 2 period. Since the adjustment delta T is nothing but equal to 1 minus dTs by 2 period, so during the adjustment period, if we look carefully, during this period your S2 and S4 is on, so obviously the VAB is 0. And during the next time, when the turn on time of S1 is adjusted to Ts by 2 period and turn on period of S3 adjusted to Ts by 2 period, so where my S1 and S3 is on, during this period still my VAB is 0. So my output voltage V0 is still be N V times D, and there is no change in the output voltage. So if we look very carefully, turn off instances, S1 and S4 turning off at different times, S2 and S3 are turning off at different time. So these are the 9 different modulation methods we get by just adjusting the turn on period of either leading leg or the lagging leg switches. So we can say finally that we have in total we have actually 9 PWM modulation strategies we have, and these modulation methods or strategies can be clubbed into 2 types. Type 1, where the diagonal switches turns off at the same time, which we get it from 1 to 3, method number 1 to 3, and there are second type where the diagonal switches turns off at different times, which is nothing but modulation method 4 to 9. And these are the 9 different methods which you will get, and you can use them without changing any output voltage, any variation in the output voltage. You can use them to achieve the soft switching of these devices, which we will discuss in the next lecture, how these different modulation strategies can be employed and how this will help in achieving the soft switchings of the leading leg and the lagging leg. We will see in the next lecture. Thank you very much for patiently listening to this lecture, and we will see in the next lecture.